Hi friends, welcome to Storytime with the LA Conservancy. Today we're going to take a bus ride with CJ and his Nana, and we'll discover different parts of their city with them and understand what makes the different parts of the city beautiful. We'll also meet a few of their friends along the way. Have any of you taken a bus before? Where were you going? If you haven't taken a bus before, would you like to take a bus? Where do you think CJ and his Nana are going to take the bus to? What do you think the last stop on their bus ride will be? Let's find out in today's story, Last Stop on Market Street, written by Matt De La Peña, and the pictures are by Christian Robinson. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a "good afternoon." She made sure CJ did the same. What do you notice on CJ's bus? Have you ever traveled by bus and noticed similar people? Or who do you see on your way to school or wherever you're going by car or by foot? Are they similar to the friends that CJ sees on his bus? The bus lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man, and I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. Have you ever felt the way that CJ is feeling right now? Have you ever wanted to be somewhere else than where you were, or where your parents or family was taking you, wanting to do other things that your friends were doing? How did that make you feel? Did you end up having fun in the end? Let's find out to see if CJ ends up enjoying his adventure more than he might think. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. What does Nana mean when she says some people see the world with their ears? How can you see the world with your ears? The man that CJ gave his seat to, this man right here, is blind, which means that he is unable to see, but he can still hear and he can still smell. And by using his ears and his nose, he can understand what's happening around him. Let's try that. What if we close our eyes? What will we see with our ears? So for a brief moment, I'd like to ask you to close your eyes and ask you to listen and see if you can see something with your ears. So let's try that. All right, let's open our eyes. What did you see with your ears? I actually could hear a garbage truck going by, so that let me know that my trash is being picked up. What did you see with your ears? What could you hear going on around you? Next time you're in a public place, think about how listening can help you understand what's going on. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. "Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for?" "You got the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered. "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street," Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you'll be a better witness for what's beautiful." Let's take a look at where CJ and his Nana are. Is there a part of your neighborhood or your city that looks similar to this? How do you feel about that part of your city? Do you think there might be beauty there similar to how Nana is suggesting to CJ? Think about that next time you're traveling to that part of the city or traveling by that part of the city. Perhaps there's beauty there that you haven't noticed before. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. Where are CJ and his Nana going? They ended up at a soup kitchen. And a soup kitchen is a place that provides food to people who might not have a home or people who might not be able to buy food for themselves. And CJ and Nana are going to the soup kitchen to be able to help serve food to these people. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came." He thought his Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." Look at all the friends that CJ is helping to provide food for. Isn't that wonderful? Now that we finished our story, let's talk a little bit about what we learned today. CJ asked many questions along the way on his bus ride and wondered why he had to go to the different places his Nana was taking him to. and why he couldn't be outside playing with his friends. How did Nana help CJ understand what he has to be grateful for? And how did Nana help CJ understand that where he was going to be a fun place as well? And what about the different part of the city that CJ visited? How did Nana help CJ understand how that part of the city is beautiful? He was able to see friends. He was able to help other people. He was able to even see a rainbow. As I asked you before, think about that next time you're traveling by a different part of the city that maybe you might have not noticed before. Think about what makes that place special, and maybe you'll see the beauty in that place as well. For our craft activity, we're going to use our imagination and create our own bus that maybe can travel to a soup kitchen like CJ and his Nana visited, or maybe it can go somewhere else. For this craft activity, you'll need the following supplies. You'll need markers, paper, glue, and scissors. For the first step, you're going to fold one of the sheets of paper in half, like so. I chose to fold the blue paper. This is the paper that I'm going to use for my bus. You'll fold it in half, and for your next step, you'll have 2 half sheets of paper. For one of those half sheets, you'll keep it as it is. That'll be your bus. With the second half sheet of paper, you'll cut 2 circles, which will be the tires for your bus. So now you'll have 1 half sheet of paper, 1 rectangle, and 2 circles. For step 3, you're going to fold the white sheet of paper twice. The first time, as I show you in part A, you will fold the paper in half, like you folded the blue paper. Then you're going to fold that half in once again, like I show you in part B. At the end, you'll have a paper that has 4 rectangles if you open it up. You'll cut one of them to end up with 1 long rectangle like I show you in this photo. Next, you'll glue everything together. And once you glue everything together, you can start decorating your bus. And you'll notice who is on my bus ride. Of course, you have the driver right over here, because how will the bus move without a driver? I also have a mom who has a little baby who's sleeping. And there's a man over here who is also sleeping on the bus. And there's a boy over here, like how CJ saw on his bus, who's listening to music. And who might this be? Any guesses? Well, that's a dog, because dogs ride buses too. So where will your bus be going, and who will be riding on your bus ride? Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's story. I look forward to seeing you next time on Storytime with the LA Conservancy.